Go. Live. Okay, welcome to VPG Season 2, Episode 2. I've got my co-host, Garth Prince. We've traded Bruno in. We've got a better looking co-host with me there. And we welcome Justin and Ishad from Ballers. We'll talk quite a few things.
Hi, guys.
Thanks, James.
Cool, man. Okay, and we'll talk about African Champions League, Esports Champions League. That's what the Ballers boys are on. And we'll talk about some housekeeping before we get to that. And obviously look at the leagues, the Premier League, the Championship League, and obviously Team of the Week. The guys wait for to see their names in highlights there. Very exciting stuff. And I'm so glad we got the league underway. Thanks to Eskom for the delay. You know, that was quite frustrating. You know, and obviously on that point, before we get this part of the housekeeping, on that point, when we have things like that and the guys can play matches, I was watching the group and the guys were saying, we can make it 9:30. Opposition says, look, we can't make it. Let's be nice, guys. You can't force anyone to play. If the guys can't make it, we reschedule. And don't worry about that stuff. If it ever happens again, we'll play a catch-up week at the end of the season. And you never know, those games can actually make a big difference. You know what I mean? We need the points and it could decide a title or relegation. So be nice with each other when it comes to rescheduling games. Okay, so part of the housekeeping, before I get the guys chatting and the guys involved, stats. Please remind your players to put your stats in. I know there's a lot of new teams, a lot of new guys that have been communicating with the guys on Discord, myself and Shermy and Ronnie. This can only happen if you put your teams, your managers have to submit their team lineups before this can happen. If you leave a guy out in your team lineup, you won't be able to put a stat in. I actually did that this week. I put the wrong guy in, one of my midfielders, for 2 games, and I only realized it on the 3rd game. And then whilst I'm trying to put my stats in, I was like, oh, geez, you know, I forgot I put someone else in and say you couldn't put your stats in. So in my mind, Yaya Patel, sorry, buddy, you made team of the week in my mind. Well done. Okay, so you got to get the starting lineups in, and then you can put your stats in. And remember, for the new guys, if it's stats, say tackles made, you see the column. Don't just put your proof of your picture in. Fill in the columns at the bottom. Tackles made, if you're a winger, it's assists and that type of stuff. And 10 tackles, you'll see on your player profile, 10 tackles made, you've made 3 out of 10. You don't add them up to make it 13. Or you got to have a look at that. And it's all new stuff. I know it's new for us. That's why I mentioned it. So you can go back and have a look at the stream. And correct stats are vitally important. For managers that put in incorrect scores, sometimes that happens. You lose 4-2 and you cut 4, you just think it's 4-1. And someone else, the opposite manager is putting in 4-2, the actual score. It'll show dispute at the bottom. And obviously we'll correct that. We'll talk to the managers, but make sure you got the correct scores in managers. Otherwise it won't show who's won, who's lost. It'll just say dispute because there's a dispute, because the scores don't reflect each other. And that's it for housekeeping. And Discord, we'll do our show next week. We've tested it on the Discord channels and all that stuff. It's great. And that's something new for us. And obviously it seems like the technology is quite cool there. Okay, so onto the fun stuff, onto the good stuff. Ballers, let's talk African Esports Champions League. Once again, VPG SA have a team in the final. And looking at your group stages, Justin, tell me, looking at your group stage, you guys actually smoked it in the group stages. What is the most difficult part playing in the group stages there?
Obviously, playing away obviously is by far the most difficult. The difference between playing home and away is incomparable. I mean, you can play against the same team within the space of half an hour and have the scoreline change, you know, by 4 or 5 goals. You can win 4-0 at home and lose 3-0 away, for instance. So it's really chalk and cheese. I said playing away is a huge adjustment and something that's very new to us at Ballers. We've always played it, you know, in the platform of South Africa. We've never really gone abroad. I know Unleashed have a bit of experience there. But it's the first time for us, and it's been this crazy ride. Like, you literally need, I think, at least 4 home goals to stand any chance of getting through to the next round.
That's crazy. And Ishad at the back, obviously, you agree with Justin there?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, trying to defend with all that lag is a real challenge. I mean, I compare it to controlling a guy that's drunk Another comparison would be when you're playing Call of Duty and you've been hit by a stun grenade and your guy's like staggering around trying to find his place. And yeah, timing a tackle is really difficult. You have to just basically stay on your feet, try as much as possible not to press the tackle button because you're most likely going to give away a penalty. Just stay in position, stay compact. And you can't really play a quick passing game, keep the ball on the ground or anything of that sort. You basically got to get rid of the ball, try and get it up to the strikers as quick and as much as possible. What we found was using a tall striker in those away games helps a lot because of the hold-up play and maybe eat up a few seconds here and there. But it's constantly backs to the wall, defending the entire game and just basically looking to counterattack.
So like, yeah, and it goes both ways, doesn't it? Like, you know, they've got to obviously do the return leg. So like you said, you got to get a goal. I saw Unleashed do that last season in the African Champions League. They had a massive striker that obviously changed their profiles. So you guys obviously took note of that, and he held up the ball quite a bit. So that obviously helped them. They made the final, just dropping short there. But I see it's 8 groups, 4 teams in a group. You guys, like I said, you scored, your goal difference was +7. Ended on top of your group with 15 points. You lost 1 match out of the 5, I believe. Your results there, 5-2 against Stade Tunisian, 5-4 was Team Majesty, yeah, and 7-4 was Valeva in the semi-finals. But I believe there was a bit of drama there, Justy, with the semi-finals there, you guys. Eh?
Yeah,
first 2 legs. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, supposedly it's supposed to go, if it's equal, I think it finished 1-1. I think I'm correct in saying that. Home for us was 1-0 and home for them was 1-0 too. And it's supposed to go to a coin toss, I think it is, whereas the team that wins the toss gets 1 home game and then it's done. But over a period of, I think, 24 hours, 48 hours, they made such a scene that they finally got their way. And it ended up being a 2-legged affair. And luckily, we put in a bigger performance in the second 2 legs than we did in the first 2 legs and managed to beat them relatively comfortably in there.
Yes, I saw that second leg. It was 4-2, I think, into them, isn't it?
The away game. Away. I think Jay and AD came up with some brilliance. I don't know how, in that lag, I don't know how they did it, but they did it somehow.
Because I watched it live, and I don't know, Garth, did you watch the game? Did you watch any of the matches?
I actually didn't. I was just about to ask, like, what when you're going up against these teams, and you have like the challenge of lag, what is your game plan going into the game? Like with so much lag, I mean, obviously we've all felt the lag, and we've seen what it does when you're trying to maybe, you know, do this short pass, the quick play. It's kind of makes everything difficult. So how do you guys approach the games? What is your game plan?
Who's that? Usha, do you want to give us the answer there?
Yeah. Well, we try and remain as compact as possible. I know if you're watching it, you're going to think that we are parking the bus. But trust me, you don't know how it feels like to play in this lag unless you actually experience it. So that's the plan. Stay as compact as possible. Don't take chances at the back. Get it out of there as quick as possible. Get it up to the tall striker as much. He'll try and flick it on. As Justy mentioned, AD and Jay did a magnificent job in our last game. And I think in the quarterfinals, it was AD and Nick James who were absolutely terrific up front. And I think in both those, in the quarters and the semis, away from home, we netted 2 goals. And that's absolutely brilliant, if you ask me, because it's honestly so difficult to adapt to the lag.
Yeah.
Like with these tactics, you can say what you want about it. I mean, if Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager, was listening to this podcast right now, he would appoint me as his assistant manager right away. Because these tactics are right up his alley. But it has to be done, and I think we do it really well.
100%.
Awesome.
Like you said, it's a results-orientated competition, so you play for results at the end of the day. But that's Justin mentioned. Justin, let's go back to that one-off game with the coin toss.
Yeah.
Surely, obviously, the organizers have learned that doesn't work. I mean, it's pro gaming. Things can go far for you guys. Would you have wanted to play the game at home, or would you be fair and say, let's play 2 legs?
It is definitely fair to play the 2 legs, the 2-legged affair, because whoever plays home has pretty much won the game before balls have been kicked. So it is only fair that the match went to 2 matches. It wasn't the rules at the start of the tournament. But I guess if we make a big enough scene, then something's bound to happen. And I'm just glad in the end we managed to pull through. And I think we deserve to get to the final.
Yes, I see the final score there, 7-4 on aggregate. So that's, like you said, it's quite convincing, which is nice. And then the finals next week, right, Wednesday, 9:30. 9:30 next week, Wednesday. You're taking.
Yeah, that might be their time, though. I think it's 11:30 for us.
11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. 11:30 for us. Okay, 11 to the out time. That's right. So you can play your league games as warm up.
Yeah,
then you
very
jump in
different,
there.
but yeah.
Nice. Now you playing obviously with I read the Al Ahly. There's the Egyptian
so,
team,
yes.
I believe. Yeah, I think they've also got they're the second biggest players on the continent in South Africa, and then we work with the most players, I believe. I could stand to be corrected, but most gamers when it comes to FIFA. So it makes total sense that you guys are in the final. Hopefully you can go one step further and win it, which is exciting stuff. Okay, so let's have a look at while we talking Champions League. That's all. That's good, and wish the guys well. They'll be streamed live. Are you guys going to stream that live? I think Shirmi's going to stream it live on our channel as well.
Definitely, in fact, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have it on our channel live stream as well. Who's watching the tune and support the guys. Definitely go one step further. So let's look at the Premier League. Let's talk Premier League now. I know we all play, yeah. Goth, who do you play for, Goth? His mic's off again. Show your mic.
Oh, my bad. So I play for Battalier. Yeah, I'm a centre back for Battalier.
Nice. And so you also play in the Premier League with all the rest of us here, which is fantastic. When we talk Premier League, we can look at the logs there. Shirmi, you can get the logs up there. Here we go. Let's have a look. I know it's only 3 games in. It's early days. But once again, you see the usual suspects coming up there. Zamalek at first, CF Van Bus. I believe they beat you guys, Justy?
Yeah, they sure did. Both in the SAPL thing, they drew with us. And then now in the VPG, they gave us another big run for our money. So really good team this season.
100%. We played them in a friendly a few weeks ago, and they gave us a total hiding. Just control. Very good. Just absolute control. And I said to the guy in charge there, hey, fantastic football. I would put them at this dark horse, cause a lot of upsets. I mean, to beat you guys is no mean feat. We all know that. How did that game go? I know it's a 1-0 game to them, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean, we had our chances too, but full credit to them. We weren't able to break through, and that's just it's our own fault, not theirs. I mean, they played the game perfectly, so full credit to them. And I'm sure we'll have a few matches this season against them, and hopefully we can turn the score around.
Yes, 100%. So you see the top 6. You look at the top 6. You're lying 6 at the moment. It's only, like I said, 3 games played. Goal difference is massive again. Ballers, you guys just seem to rack them up as always. I see Zamalek has also racked them up quite nicely. Also going to be a tough team this year against Zamalek. And I see Jordan Leaf's team, 1-2-3 shooting.
Yeah.
They beat us in the first week as well. Also the usual suspects. So who's your favorite? Who's your top? I know it's early days, Justin. Who's your top 4? Would you say that you would say these are going to be the top 4 teams?
I think for me, Unleashed are always up there. They always seem to be the team. I don't know if Urshad will agree, but we always seem to struggle against Unleashed. Apart from above any other team, they're always the team we struggle against. We managed to get the results against a few others, but Unleashed they seem to have our number in the last 3 or 4 months, it seems. So I think Unleashed will be up there. Zamalek having a great start, they'll be up there. And at Artemis, they just came to their championship now, eh?
Yes.
So
we'll talk about the championship later, yeah.
They'll be there next season. And yeah, 1-2-3, that's 1-2-3 shooting looking good. And probably Crusaders will probably put up a fight for the remainder of the season too. I'd imagine they'll be the top 4 or 5.
100%, yeah. And as a defender, Ishad, which is the toughest strikers to face against? I know you said Unleashed. Who else as facing a striker? Who do you don't enjoy facing as a defender?
Well, I've been at Ballers. This is now my second full season that I've started, and in my first season, the one striker that I always had trouble and always found difficult to play against was Jared Naidu, and he was at Artemis last season, and thank God he's with us this season. Other than that, I feel like Unleashed have a really good striker in Divac. He's very skillful. He always seems to come out with the ball in tough situations, always on the move. I think Unleashed have a few of them actually. I think they've signed Hassan Parak from Zamalek this season, and he's a very promising player as well. I think they also signed Mo Pastel from Checkmarts, who were also promoted to the Premier League. I think he's playing on the left wing, but again, he's an absolute handful to deal with.
Yes. And Garth, you're taking the league. Who do you reckon is going to be your favourites there?
It's a tough one, but I agree. Unleashed will definitely be up there. We played them in our first week, so it was just so tough. Yeah, for me, it's my first time playing in the Premiership, so it was a new experience, and obviously I had to adjust my game a little bit more. There's no time to relax; they will come at you, and it was a good game to start off the league with against Unleash. It was fun. It was tough. As a defender, you had to stay switched on from the word go. There was no time for you to make a mistake, because it's like they're sniffing out for that mistake so that they can hit you. And I think we did well. It was unlucky for the 2 goals we conceded, but further than that, I think we did well. We started off good.
And did you play Championship VPG last year?
Yeah, it was actually my debut season last year, so it was a good experience. So my second season going into the Premier League, it's big, and it's a different challenge as well.
And actually facing guys like Justin, you got no time on the ball. The pressure they apply on the defenders is dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of they kind of want you to get the ball, rid of the ball so that they can play on the second ball. So yeah, it's tough, but it's also fun. It keeps you on your toes.
Yes, you adjust, and once you adjust, you get better at it. Like I said, it doesn't get easier.
100%.
You get better. You don't panic as much, because once the panic sets in, next thing you know, it's 4-0 and half time.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So looking at some of the noticeable results there, look at some of the results on the Premier League. Like I said, Van Boos beating Ballers. They also beat Sabres 3-1. And then Crusaders and Unleashed drawing 1-1. That's always going to be tough games. Those type of games against the top 4, it's always 2-1 or 1-1 or 2-2 is very rarely big scoring games. And then Zamalek beating Crusaders 1-0. These Crusaders had a bit of a rough patch in the first start. They drawing 1, winning 1, and losing 1. But like I said, it's early days. The goal difference is 0 though, which makes a big difference. You know, so that's going to make a difference at the top. We've seen Ballers. I think the first season, which goal difference made a massive difference, puts the pressure on the other teams to get the extra points. So, Justin, you playing up front. Do you aim to score more goals, or you just play your natural game?
I think we've gone through so many formations this season with our team. We've had a lot of players missing, both through work and also through illness. So we've had a lot of adjustments. I think Urshad has had 3 or 4 centre-back partners. I've had 2 or 3 players ahead of me playing strikers. So we've gone through at least 2 or 3 formations. And I think tonight we have a few matches. We're looking to go for a different formation again, a completely different formation. I think 3 at the back is what's mentioned for tonight. Okay. So we're still trying to find our feet. And I think once the players return and once the illnesses healed up, I think we'll have a stronger squad going forward. There's been a lot of hiccups this season so far for us, but I think that's mostly down to player unavailability. And I think that should improve. That should improve in the coming weeks, I reckon. We should have Abu back, and we should have Jay back more regularly. I think we'll have a good start, a good middle of the season, hopefully.
Okay. So what is the reason for the change of formation? Is it new FIFA 21 that you just trying things out, or you're just trying to fit certain guys in? What is the reason for changing all the formation? I know last year you had 2 formations that you bounced through. And a regular formation. What was your regular formation last season?
Last season we played a 4-2-3-1. We played a 4-2-3-1. But as Urshad mentioned earlier, we have Nick James, who can be an absolute game changer. And what we're trying to do is bring him a little bit more central. And I think the 3-5-2 allows us to play with 2 strikers possibly. And then we can have 2 CDMs and then a bit of width as well with the right and left mid. And then 3 at the back. We'll just need to find a nice pairing for Urshad alongside him to find a solid back 3.
Okay, and Urshad, when you're changing formations, it can be a dangerous thing. It can be a good thing. What do you recommend to the guys starting out there with their formations? Do you accommodate top players, or do you let the players fall into the formation that you normally play? Urshad, what do you think?
I think it depends on the current situation. Look, last season, the one thing that we had was consistency. That's why we were so successful. But last season, we didn't have many issues with regards to player ability and that sort of thing, player availability and that sort of thing. So I think if you really analyze the Ballers teams from last season, what you would find is that we usually stuck with the same starting 11 and the same formation, which was 4-2-3-1. This season, unfortunately, we've had quite a few issues with, as Justin mentioned, some guys with work, some guys health-wise. I think Abu had a few struggles with that. So in the end, it's all about trying to accommodate your best players and put them into a formation that makes things work. And we're still a team in progress, but we'll get there.
Definitely.
Garth, you take on the formations?
For me, it's the formations are so key in FIFA, and I was about to ask them like, what's their take on having one CDM instead of two, because I see a lot of teams opt for the safer route, which is having two CDMs, and a lot choose to rather have one push up and one sit, and then when hit on the counter attack, both sitting. So for me, I feel like any formation can work as long as that two that's sweeping in front of the defense. I think FIFA 21 has become about getting a defensive game correct, and if you have that sorted, it's kind of difficult for you to actually lose. And a lot of teams struggle with getting that defensive part right, and that comes a lot with the formation. So having two CDMs is often enough support for your backline in case there's a counter attack. So for me, the formation, you can literally play anyone, but I feel that any formation that accommodates the backline, it's so key in FIFA 21.
Yeah.
You agree with that, Justin?
Definitely, yeah. We always play with two CDMs and 8 ballers. I think that's something that will always stick for us, is playing two CDMs, Smurf, and whether it be, again, the rotation comes in here, myself or Urshad or Jay, or we've had Jared playing. We've literally had probably also 4 or 5 CDMs this season. We've had 4 or 5 centre-backs, 4 or 5 strikers. So hoping to get a little bit more stability for the remainder of the season. I think Abu's making a good recovery, it seems. And like I mentioned also, Jay should become available more often. So yeah, there's some stability going. We should have a better next few weeks.
More rotations in the Liverpool squad. We won't go there. Yeah. You guys can adapt. Okay, while we look at that, let's look at the championship and get their leagues up. We can chat about them. I know you guys know some of those teams, know some of those guys. Get their log up there for the championship. And of course, no surprises there. You mentioned them earlier, Justin. It's Artemis on top.
Yeah, that's no
we know, and no disrespect to anybody else. And Artemis are a Premier League team, and like I said, they only joined the VPG this season, so you got to start at the bottom and work your way up. They got a phenomenal squad. They're so well balanced, and there's no surprise seeing them at number 1. You reckon they'll stay up and come up next season to the Premier League, Justin?
Yeah, most certainly. They're definitely the favourites for that championship. So I think they should win it with relative ease. There will be a few bumps along the way because the standard is so high now, both in the Prem and Championship. But I think they should win it comfortably by at least 10 points, I reckon.
Yeah, you're looking at the teams there. I was looking at the squads of 7 stars. Galacticos is a new team and 7 stars, but there's old veterans in that 7 stars team. I was looking at those teams there, and actually one of them is that Bio, that kid can play, man. And then Renegades as well, and Checkmarks. There's some experienced players there.
Sure, I forgot about them. They're brilliant teams as well.
100%. So I think, no disrespect to anybody else, we don't know the other guys at the moment. It's nice to see who comes out there. But I think Renegades, 7 stars, Checkmarks, they will give them a good go. Well, nice competition for them. Their goal difference again is 11. They've won all 3 of their games there. And I will expect them to come up to top 3. And I'm hoping we get a shock team there. I'm thinking these Galacticos guys, I've been watching them on Twitter and watching them play. They're having an absolute ball. And that's what it's about. It's a great community. Ishwar, have you seen any of their tweets or any of their videos yet?
Yeah, I saw the one that popped up where they scored a last-minute equalizer. It was quite funny. And like it's all part of the game. I mean, that's why we play this. This is why we love it. I think we came up against them this season and in the SAPL, and we had a good game against them. But I think they have some way to improve. But I think they do have a chance, an outside chance of getting promoted to the Premiership for sure.
Yeah, and they make it look fun. I mean, you want to watch
definitely.
it.
That's definitely. Yeah.
No, I loved it. I'm watching it and like just want to tune in their channel and watch them chat and everything else. It looks like, hey, Garth, have you seen it, Garth?
Not yet. I actually want to check them out because I'm thinking that's a brilliant. It's what the game is about, creating that community, and that's awesome. I should actually check them out. I'm thinking I'm missing out big time here.
Yeah. No, you are. And look at the upcoming matches for the week, for the champion. Before we get to the teams of the week for the Premier League and the Championship, upcoming matches for the Championship is Artemis versus Galacticos. That should be a nice one. All Stars versus Artemis. Cape Town Spurs versus Cape Town All-Stars. I think we've got a derby there. More Cape Town teams. And Renegades versus Mayhem. Mayhem's also been around for a while. I think they've got some players there as well. So those games look out for the championship. And obviously we'll see it next week. New teams like Supersport, Leipzig, V-Squad are very exciting. We've grown it quite nicely. Just remember, guys, those guys who have entered teams and are struggling, we've all been there. If you're struggling and you're taking a beating for the first week and losing, I remember dropping Kings, we lost 8 in a row, like proper. And then we pulled in some guys and we reset, and then we survived the relegation. Just have fun. It's frustrating. I'm sure we've all been there. Ishad, you agree with me there. It's frustrating, but just keep rolling and have fun with it. What's your advice to the guys starting out? Because I can see some of the guys taking a pounding first week and nobody wants to play again. Just stick it out. Also, it's true, but you got a commitment to other guys who want to play. It makes it more fun for them too, and you will get better.
Sure. That applies to anything in life. You don't give up straight away. You have a goal, you set it, you follow it. While we're talking about the championship, I just want to give an honorable mention to my former club, V Squad. It's where I started off. It's where I was signed from. They are my guys. Don't forget starting off with them. And looking forward to
where they're sitting now. They're sitting 11th. Yeah, they're sitting 11th. Nice. Yeah. So you never know what you can do. If you can play for those teams and get signed for ballers, there we go. He's living proof. There we go. That's awesome. That's all you want to do. Okay, so while we do that, let's get to those teams of the week. We look at the championship team first. Team of the week for championship. We'll get that team up. Show me. Let's have a look at that. I'll have a look at that too on my little iPad here, my old man eyes. Championship. There we go. That's a Bardi revamp I was talking about. He's playing striker, and that's for 7 stars. So, am I right? Have a look there. 7 stars. That's right. 7 stars. There we go. Then Moyne. You guys can see it there on the left.
Yeah.
Moyne from Artemis. No surprise there.
Good player.
Yeah. I've played with him last season. Helped us out to survive the drop. It's a totally different ball game when you play with those quality, man. Justin, you see any guys there you recognize?
Yeah, I see a lot of Easy Rajinho's in there. So a lot of good players going around there. I think Moyne and Easy Rajinho are the standouts there for me. I think we'll see them quite regularly in the team of the week. On the bench, who do we have on the bench there? I can't quite see, but I'd imagine it's more Artemis players.
Yeah, you got on the bench here. You got, there we go. It's Zali, 3 Renegades.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course, Jean-Luc, very good player as well.
I said we put in their gamer tags, what do you think? Gamer tags is better because the guys recognize the guys' gamer tags than actually the actual names.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So we were trying something new last year. We had your actual name there. Garth, you would recognize some of these guys?
Yeah. I don't know. It's not popping up on my screen, but
there we go.
Yeah, just check it. Yeah, there we go. Strikers. I don't recognize them. Unfortunately.
Right, we'll blood you in. Like you said,
definitely.
And Ishad is one of your Avish. You also play with him in V Squad. Ishad.
Yeah. I think he signed the season that I left. I've played with him a few times in divisions, and he's a brilliant player. I see him there at centre back, and I also see on the bench Momal, who's the captain of V Squad. Always great to see him.
Nice. Well done, guys, making team of the week. We'll tweet that or see how it goes. And then let's get to our Premier League team of the week. There we go. You got it up there. You guys see, you tap your screen there. You can have a look. Okay. You know what? It's the first time I've made team of the week.
Very well done, Dad.
It's who you know. Justin, I've been saying this for a year now almost. It's who you know. That payment off Shermy with 3 installments actually worked. I've made it there. So we had a good week. Dropping Kings, it's a matter of the draw. We had a good week. 1 loss and 2 nice wins, like 4 or 5 goals. And we put in our stats, gentlemen. We put in our stats. And Shermy, this is a VPG. So, Ursha, what do you think of that team? Have a look at it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic team. I mean,
you have to
no
say that we're not
surprise.
inviting you again to the show.
Yeah. I mean, look at the amount of ballers in there. I'm proud of the guys. Obviously, Justin and Smurfs, magnificent players. I see a few ballers on the bench as well. My captain, AD. Shout out to my goalkeeper, Luna, always a star of the show. And then a few familiar names as well. Talib from Unleashed, excellent midfield player. Nunes, so solid at the back.
Yes.
Yeah, just the usual names here. Good to see you there as well, Darren.
Okay, my man. I'm going to frame this and put it in my office there by the school teacher. When the kids walk in, look at that, boys. Pro clubs, don't forget that team of the week. They'll be there for the next 10 years. They're probably the only team I'll be in, so that's fine. But it's a nice team. It's a nice team, and I'm very honored to be part of that team. And the guys that put in their stats, Luna on the bench, such a nice team that. And putting your stats, guys, it makes a big difference. You have a good week, you're in. If I can make team of the week and play next to Justino, then you guys know. Golf, what do you think of that team? You know, you're obviously new to the scene. You recognize some of those names. Surely you recognize some of those names.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Shermy, definitely. He's a teammate. So, yeah, he's been phenomenal for our team. He runs the attack, always vocal, always, guiding the guys to what needs to be done to get that ball past that defense. Panache, I know Panache because we played on our debut season. We played together, and he's hungry for goals. You should have him in the party chat. You'll know what I'm talking about. He's hungry for goals, and it's like he has sleepless nights if he doesn't score. So it's always a good player to have in your team. And then Man United at right back. It's a personal friend of mine. I haven't played with him in the same team yet, but he's actually the one that introduced me to pro clubs. So yeah, he's also a good player. So yeah, I those are the names I recognize so surely. And obviously Justinho, we played a couple of friendlies against ballers, and yeah, these oaks always give us a good game and always allow us, to just examine our gameplay. Because for our backline specifically, it's a good workout. They're always coming at you guys, and Justinho's name always pops up with the ball at his feet. So yeah, I definitely recognize him.
So with you mentioned attitude there, like you said, Panache, he wants the ball all the time. Justin, is it a fine line between wanting that ball and being sort of bordering on great and arrogance, and having a good attitude and wanting to win and being a nice guy? Is a fine line. We find it, you get to those guys that are really good players, you can find them. If you've realized that those type of guys, the question I want to put to you is, do you have those type of guys in your team?
No, I don't think
give me the ball. But they can do something.
No, I don't think we're not in ballers. We look to rotate the ball as often as possible. We look to all pass in excess of 20 passes per game from the midfield upwards. So we're not really having someone in the team that's goal orientated, or they're looking to get the ball frequently and then calling the ball often. We're just looking to move the ball around, get it wide, bring it back inside. And so yeah, we haven't got one of those players, but I mean, you get those players you mentioned how there could be a bit of a downfall, but there you see him in the team of the week. So, I mean, there is a place for those kind of players. And I know Panache also from playing alongside him, he's got a very quick pro, very good player. And I expect to see him in the team of the week again in the future. Yeah.
We stirred him, man. That guy to come play the whole time. But that's a nice team of the week. Shirley, you got some goals there you want to show us? Next week, the goals. Okay, so we've got some goals coming. Some of the guys are tweeting their goals for goal of the week. We'll have after next week, and we'll put the top 5 goals in there. We'll do a poll. You guys can vote for the best 5 goals. But Justin and you guys must get your goals in there, man.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah. It's not often that we record. Yeah, we don't often record our goals and then, go analyze them. But I think we should, because we do score a couple of nice goals here and there, and it's definitely worth posting. So we'll make sure to do that in the future. Yes,
like Ashad said in the semi-finals, I don't know how you guys put the ball in the back, and I watched you. I mean,
so good.
From absolute nothing.
Yeah.
Guys must celebrate that. We show the guys that can do it, even with the lag.
Yeah.
No, 100%. That's all from my side. Garth, your final words? We'll give you a final word,
It was, I don't know what to say, but Yeah, I feel excited for the VPG season. It's my first time in the Premiership, so I'm looking forward to meeting up against teams like Bowlers again. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, good luck to the guys for the rest of the season as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And I tell you now, I want to thank Eskom for the load shedding, because our first game was against and then Crusaders. I don't think I would have made team of the week playing against Crusaders and Ballers in the VPG season. No disrespect to anybody, yeah. So,
is this attacking position here to stay for you, Dazzle? Because I'm renowned for seeing you as a centre back. Is this here to stay, this attacking position, or is it just a once-off?
Hey man, I don't know how I ended up there. I was playing right back. I was playing right back, and I just ended up on the wing. That's important to mention that. All jokes aside, you put in your stats, guys, put in the positions that you play. You'll make sure your captains put in the register as a wing, register as an attacking midfielder, because it makes a big difference with the stats, because the stats are different for every position. So right wing backs, they get judged on the crosses, successful crosses, where winger also successful crosses, and then obviously the CDMs will be more points towards their tackling. These are very little key things that make you team of the week when you put your stats in and register your players in the starting lineup as specific positions. So that's also a very key point that I know we're joking about it, but it can make a difference on making team of the week or not. So, but thanks for your time, guys. Ishad and Justin, we'll see you guys. Obviously, we'll hear about you in the next week. 11 o'clock, 11 our time, finals.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
African champions. Let's go win it, guys. Let's go win it. We got all the players here in Africa. We got the best players. Yeah, I believe that. Let's go win it. That's it from my side, guys. And see you next week, Wednesday.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
see you then. Thanks,
man. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you.
Bye-bye.